Hello, my name is Chris, and first of all I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. So basically, to start off with, my whole purpose of filming this is to log my journey on a different approach to dealing with psoriasis. I've had psoriasis now for a lot of years, since 2002, so almost 13 years, since I was 19, and when it started out, it was just on my scalp. It was just scalp psoriasis, and it was nothing too major. As you'll be able to see at my blog, you'll be able to see photos from back then, and you'll see the gradual progression up to a point in 2009 when I started to get psoriasis on my chest. And then recently, probably in the last year and a half or so, I've started to be completely covered in it. So basically it's got crunch time to me now to deal with it more seriously. And that means dealing with it in a different way, because obviously dealing with it as a skin condition, as most doctors will deal with it, steroid creams and that just aren't doing the job anymore, and especially now that most of my body's covered in it, getting that small tube of cream doesn't go very far. It's also, I'm just not happy with the fact of using steroid creams constantly, so it seems to only deal with the skin problem itself. But after doing more and more research on it, you know, when you look at psoriasis as being an autoimmune disease, something internal that just manifests itself in a skin condition, then you know, I really think that it's a better approach to look at the inside first. And so basically a little bit of background as well. I also suffer from other things like gut problems and chronic headaches that I've had for years. So there seems to be a fair few other problems, you know, sleep problems as well, that I need to deal with. And I'm hoping to do that through diet and exercise, which sounds so stupid and simple, and you know, if that was the cure, then you know, why wouldn't everybody be doing it? But I have been doing a bit of research, and have been looking at other people's YouTube videos, and there have been many people that have had a lot of success through changing their diet, eliminating certain foods, and a little bit of, you know, light exercise and that sort of thing. So I'm definitely going to give it a good hard go. At the end of my first week now of my what I call the paleo-esque diet, which is essentially, the first step of that was removing you know, processed foods, sugars, things like that, removing you know, your sort of gluten foods and grains, breads, that sort of stuff, but also eliminating some of the other foods that are sort of known to be somewhat linked, and that is dairy, nightshades, so your capsicums and things like that. And basically, for me personally, that means removing one of my favourite things, which is Pepsi Max. I drink a lot of that. I love the caffeine hit. I love my cola. I drink the non-sugar version, but you wouldn't be able to tell now that I've been packing on the pounds. So eliminating that this week has been the hardest thing. I have suffered some pretty serious headaches and withdrawal symptoms from that, but I'm starting to get over that hump now, so I've been drinking nothing but water. And a licorice root tea as well that I've added to the regimen of what I've been doing. So one of the really important things that I want to point out is that I am a regular guy. This is just my first week, so I don't know what the end result of all of this is going to be, but I am just a regular guy who really enjoys things like chocolate and McDonald's and all the sort of nasty foods, and I've probably eaten way too much of that. So there's nothing special about me. If I do end up going down the path of a vegan diet or something like that, do know that that's something that I'm not wanting to do. I do love my meat and things like that, but it's got to an absolute crisis point with my psoriasis, and if it means eliminating certain things, then it's time to do that. But I will log this every week, including video of the psoriasis itself, and you know, hopefully with these changes we'll be able to see some differences, just like some other people have had success. So one of the big things for me starting out this week was I didn't want to eliminate too many things at once. I wanted to make it somewhat easier on myself. So although I've eliminated things like rice, pasta and all the things I do love, I haven't eliminated meat, which is why I've sort of called it the paleo-esque diet, as I have kept in bacon for breakfast and eggs as well. And I have kept in meats for dinner and things like that. But I have eliminated all those things that seem to be linked at the moment. So I do want to draw everyone's attention to Dr. John Pagano's research into leaky gut syndrome and its effect on autoimmune diseases such as psoriasis and various others. So I do encourage you to have a look into that, but it does strike a chord with me because not only do I have the psoriasis, but I do suffer from issues within the gut itself. Nothing that's been diagnosed as such, but I do have an upset tummy a lot of the time. I did put that down to having barley belly when I was a kid, but I think that it's a little bit more serious than that. And when you look at Dr. John Pagano's work on leaky gut and psoriasis and the link, it's pretty interesting, the link, and as I said, definitely have a look into that, and I'll put a link to that here. One thing I also do encourage you to do is to have a look at my blog, as I do put a very comprehensive written word version of my journey, including charts and things like that. Another big part of my journey is also weight loss. Now we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. I am overweight for my height, which is not good for someone who used to be right into health and exercise and all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely, it's just silly, and it's time to get that sorted out. So the first thing that I have noticed this week is that I have lost weight. So I've gone down from 81.7 kilos to 80.4, so that's a loss of over a kilo, which is pretty good considering I've only done 3 30-minute sessions of walking. So I'm trying to sort of prove a few points, which is that you don't have to do vigorous marathons and overextend yourself to lose weight, because obviously biggest percentage of that is actually in the diet. Secondly, I have not been counting calories. Now, going on this paleo-esque diet means that I don't have to, and it's worked out well, but just a really big thing for people out there that go into counting calories and all that sort of stuff. I always found that any time I did that, it just made the whole process a lot more stressful, and I found myself, sneaking in a cheat meal here and there, and then that became every second day and every day and all that sort of stuff. So if you can eliminate having to count calories and just enjoy your food and that kind of thing, then I think that's a good thing, and that's what I'm doing currently. So I'll thank you very much. We'll have a look at the video now of the psoriasis as it is at the end of week 1. No major differences yet, and I don't expect that. If anything, I do expect it to get worse before it gets better. That's what's happened to most other people when they've gone through this sort of diet to eliminate the psoriasis process. And that does concern me a lot, but I am in it for the long haul, so I don't want to let it discourage me if that happens. So I'll just take it as the toxins and that leaving the body through the skin, and we'll see how we go. If I do come across a long period of time where there hasn't been many good positive changes at all, then I will look at adjusting the diet to remove the meats, and certainly remove the eggs and things like that. But I just want to take it one step at a time. I really want to see where the issues lie with me personally and whether I need to eliminate those things. I think everyone's journey with diet and psoriasis is different, because everybody's different, but I think some of those most important things like dairy and processed foods and sugars are very important to get out of your diet anyway. So we'll have a look at that video now. I'll come back. So during the past week, just to give you an idea of what I've been having for breakfast, lunch and dinner. For breakfast I've been having an egg with bacon and some smoked salmon and lots of parsley chucked on top. I'm also having licorice root tea with breakfast, and I have that 3 times a day. I'm also having a bit of a concoction as well with my breakfast, and that is greens superfood powder. I won't go through any brands at this stage. L-glutamine, a teaspoon of L-glutamine, a probiotic in powder form, and that's what I have in the morning. For lunch, I've just been having sort of like some chicken breast or some turkey breast or something like that, and some salad leaves in a mixed bag, and lots of water. I've actually been drinking sparkling mineral water, which I've found helps me with getting rid of my soda fetish, so it's quite good, and you know, it's been working out well. For dinners I've been having things such as chicken hearts with veggies, or lamb cutlets with veggies. Basically, yeah, just a little bit of meat, lots of veggies, and for snacking, things like celery sticks, watermelon, and my missus has made up these date and coconut balls, which just seem like a little chocolate truffle thing, so they're quite nice for a snack. And also a company that makes a paleo bar. I've been having one of those a day just as a snack, and they're quite enjoyable as well. So that's been the diet. At night time with the dinner I have another one of my concoctions as well, which I mentioned before. I also have a teaspoon of cod liver oil as well. So basically with my diet, what I'm trying to do is integrate many of the things that are meant to be included into your diet for dealing with leaky gut and dealing with that issue separately, but also eliminating the foods that are inflammatory foods that seem to be linked with making psoriasis worse or flare up. So it'll be very interesting to see how it goes week by week, but yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.